Welcome! So this is my contest entry for a channel I've just started subscribing to here on YouTube, and more specifically within the vinyl community, JT's Music Room. He's holding a contest, or a giveaway if you will, to celebrate reaching 1,000 subscribers. So many congratulations, JT. Hope you enjoy this contest entry that I'm doing. I never expect to win these. In fact, I don't even enter an awful lot. But if the questions sound kind of fun for me, then I'll enter regardless of what the prize is or anything else. And also, more importantly than winning anything or having the chance to win, I like the fact that having seen other channels that I am subscribed to mention these contests, it means that I'll go and find their channels, their videos, and meeting more people, so to speak, in the VC. JT's contest, I think it ends on the 28th of April. So plenty of time to enter if you want to. I'll leave a link for JT's Music Room's contest video, his announcement video, at the top of the description text box, so please check that out. So his three questions were to show 3 albums in any 3 of your favourite genres, and then the next one to show a quite recent record or album in your collection that you've been listening to, and his final question, or prompt, whatever you would call it, is to show a record that's got a guilty pleasure song of yours on. So let's get going with this, my contest entry for JT's Music Room. 3 genres, 3 albums. The first album I'll show you, I've shown a lot by this group on my channel recently because I've been collecting them above pretty much any other act at the moment, with the arguable exception of Lieback. So there's your first clue. It's not Lieback, it could be anyone else. But your second clue is that the genre I've picked is, I would class them as either pop punk or power pop, but that might really be the same thing. I prefer the term power pop, I think. So I'm going with Weezer's third album, the Green Album. This for a long time was the only Weezer album I had in my collection. And then this year, I've just gone kind of mad, filling in some Weezer holes, as you know. 2001's Green Album. I wanted to show all different albums that looked kind of a little bit special as well here. There we are. Green Edition for a great album. Still one of my favourites from Weezer, this. I think the only Weezer album, at the moment anyway, that I would say tops the Green Album for me, personally, is the Black Album that came out 2019. I got this like a year ago, or was it even a bit longer than a year? It was sometime last year anyway. I thought we'd have another look at Weezer self-titled or the Green Album, originally from 2001. And this edition will be 2020 or even 2021 now, I think. So Weezer for the pop punk or power pop genre. Second genre I've picked, I really picked this genre because I seem to show this band every time I enter one of these vinyl community contests. And I've not shown this album on the channel in quite some time because this was out 2020. But the genre is industrial metal. You could say specifically New Deutsche Hart. I don't really want to say that because I'm feeling like I'm butchering the beautiful German language there. But I'm going to stick with industrial metal and show you Rammstein's 25th anniversary edition of their debut album, Herzeleid. I love this album. I have this album on CD, but when I heard it was getting a 25th anniversary re-release, I had to get it on vinyl. This is currently the only Rammstein I actually own on vinyl. I've got all their albums, and I've got numerous Blu-rays and DVDs and things as well. I'm a massive Rammstein fan. I've even got a tattoo of their logo on the back of my neck that not a lot of people have seen. Debut album that was originally out in 1995, and 2020 makes it its 25th anniversary. Nicely packaged here, gatefold, sleeve, it's split out over 2 discs. Nice inners as well. Give you a quick butchers at the disc. Like I say, I think all these albums that I'm showing you here today I have shown on the channel at some point, but newer subscribers won't necessarily have seen, and even some older subscribers may have missed. I do try and cover every addition to my music collection that I make, especially if it's on vinyl and mini disc. I will show on the channel at some point, but people miss things or just forget about stuff, don't they? So there we are. It is black vinyl, but it does have that nice blue spatter effect on it towards the centre, the run out if you will. Their debut single on here, Du riecht so gut, remains one of my very favourite Rammstein singles to this day. Also another good one on here is Seamen. I think it's an album that the band themselves, they haven't disowned it, but I was reading an interview, I think with Richard Krusper, the lead guitarist, and I think he says it's an album he can't really listen to now because he thinks it sounds a bit kind of its time and a bit dated. I would disagree with that, but I'm then disagreeing with Rammstein's own guitarist, so I don't want to say he's wrong, but it's music, it's all a matter of opinion and taste, isn't it? For the industrial metal genre, Rammstein Herzeleid, this the 25th anniversary edition of an album originally from 1995. For my third and final musical genre in this part of the question, the contest for JT, I thought I'd better pick a genre that I've really showcased a lot of on this channel. And it's one I don't really see, and this is again boiling down to me still discovering more members within the VC and more channels and more content creators. But this is a genre I never really see shown by other collectors and other VC members here on YouTube, but I'm such a big fan of this genre. I'm talking about synthwave, and I had quite a few to choose from, many on minidisc, but I wanted to show all vinyl records in this video. And the synthwave album I've chose is Communication by JJ Mist. This is one that I think it was reissued on Time Slave Recordings, which is the synthwave label from Wales. Oh wow, when I was streaming some of this before I bought it, I loved it. I love the fact that she reminds me of early Madonna, that sort of early to mid 80s period Madonna, which I really love. That's my favourite Madonna era really, where she was kind of an underground act, a club act, sort of stepping out onto the mainstream. And just the whole synthwave genre in particular, I don't know if I've got a very favourite act in synthwave, because there's some great ones like Time Cop 1983, Future Cop, Ultra Boss, Your Sister is a Werewolf, and I'm missing a load of other great ones here. I collect for the genre rather than for the specific artists for synthwave really. If like I'll listen to like a track or two on Bandcamp, and if one of the tracks sounds really good, I'll buy the whole album regardless. JJ Mist with Communication here. So quite a new release this. This isn't my pick for the new release album to show you. This is just my genre pick for synthwave. There we are, that's like a neon pink there. Again, this is an album that I did show on the channel back when I got it, which was last year sometime, I believe. But this is really good. I've always been a fan of electronic music, and synthwave, it's got that retro sound that when you listen to it, you feel like you were listening to that kind of thing 30, 40 years ago, but you really weren't. It's, to me, I don't know, I kind of consider it the Mandela effect of music, really, synthwave. It evokes memories that you don't necessarily have, or even false memories. It's hard to explain. I'm not intelligent enough to try and explain the sensation of synthwave, really. But it does make you feel nostalgic if you were a child of the 80s or older, but you lived through the 80s. JJ Mist, Communication in the synthwave genre. As I say, I don't know if synthwave's particularly big in the VC, but I personally absolutely adore it. Synthwave classic Communication there. The second question, or prompt, was to show an album of something that's a pretty new release. JT, I think, showed something as an example in his announcement video from, I think, 2017. So I suppose it's like down to the individual contest entrant what they consider to be quite a new release. I have got a few albums that have come out in 2022. This year looks to be brilliant for new albums coming out that I personally have to have in my collection. I've already had new albums this year from Ghost and Glass Vegas, and there's ones coming out for Rammstein, MRM, and a new Lieback album later in the year as well. But the one I'm going to show you came out last year. Probably my favourite solo artist, really, because he's a solo artist, Travis Egedy, better known as Picture Plane. This was his 2021 album Dopamine. Love Picture Plane. witch house, kind of a really sort of grungy, grimy, but catchy and melodic electronic dance music here. It's so hard to kind of describe what he does. He always uses sort of like supernatural and kind of conspiratorial alien kind of elements in his work. I mean, his own record label is called Alien Body. Dopamine was out last year, has my favourite single of 2020 on, which also doubles up, for now anyway, until he catches up with me and gives me many copyright notices for using it. I use it as the opening theme for many of my videos, Avalanche. And this album now has come out on a few different colour variants. This was the one I ordered simply because it was like the first one that I was alerted to when the label 100% Electronica were first taking pre-orders, but I think this has come out in at least a couple of other colour variants, and there's a picture disc variant now as well. I think they're all still widely available. Every time I get a picture playing album, I love it. I can't even really pick which one's my favourite, because I just think everything he does is just quality from start to finish. And obviously this being an indie release, another one via Bandcamp, but there will be other places to buy these things. I don't think you can go wrong with Bandcamp really, because it's international, so it doesn't matter where you're ordering from. If the artist or the label wants to send out internationally, then you'll get it. And it's also a great way of helping these little indie artists and boutique labels and DIY kind of people out really. But Dopamine from 2021 by the awesome Picture Plane is my new release album for this contest. And finally, an album or a record that contains a guilty pleasure song. So I've picked the album. Trouble is, I don't really know which song to pick because they're all pretty much guilty pleasures on it. I do adore this album. I don't even feel that guilty about it really. Maybe I should, because this is the greatest hits of DJ Bobo. Right away, from looking at the cover, you think this is going to be really cheesy, and yeah, it is. This was a Swiss import that I purchased there again. I think like the majority of these, it was last year. I couldn't find anyone in the UK who was selling this, and I wanted some DJ Bobo on vinyl, which is probably not something a lot of people actually say, but there must be a few out there, and mostly in the sort of German-speaking countries of Europe, where he's been big since the 1990s. The cover is crap. I'm not going to defend that. Is that a smile or a smirk on his face, or has he just got trapped wind? Very gaudy backdrop, big DJ Bobo header at the top, as if you couldn't see who this is, which album you're buying. And it's much the same on the back. Not the greatest designed album sleeve in the world. I do like the fact it's gatefold and we have lots of credits and production notes and things like that. This is just standard black vinyl actually. I don't think I'll bother taking it out. As for the actual guilty pleasure song on it, I could pick any of them. It's Eurodance, 1990s mostly, although we're still going now, so there is stuff from the 2000s, 2010s, and I dare say he'll probably release a new album this decade at some point as well. He's just someone who, I think, thanks to a lot of touring really in continental Europe, he does have an audience and he still keeps going after all these years. Particular favourites of mine that maybe I should feel guilty about: Everybody, There Is a Party, Secrets of Love, Somebody Dance With Me, which kind of riffs on Michael Jackson's Somebody's Watching Me, Keep On Dancing, La Vida Es. There is a couple on here that I really don't actually like his sort of cover version sort of that annoying Chihuahua song. I think even if New Order covered that, I wouldn't really like it. This is such an album that makes me happy, and ultimately isn't that what life's all about really, being happy, listening to music that you enjoy, that makes you feel good, and this is a feel good album for me. I know it wouldn't be for everyone, it wouldn't be for hardly anyone, because this is just the genre that's so uncool. It wasn't even that cool when all the big Eurodance acts of the 90s were getting hits here in the UK. You know, your Culture Beat, your Real McCoy, Snap, 2 Unlimited, I suppose you would class as Eurodance. There were countless. Max was another one, JX, Master Boy. They never really had a hit in the UK, but they're another Eurodance act that I really like. He never really had a big hit. I think 1 or 2 of his singles reached the lower end of the top 40 in the UK around the mid-90s. Places like Germany, Switzerland, Austria Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, that's where he's biggest, and a few other European countries as well. DJ Bobo's greatest hits, and it's really a kind of lucky dip as to my guilty pleasure on here. For the sake of picking one track, I'll say Everybody, because that's the first DJ Bobo song I ever heard many, many years ago. One of my closest friends played it for me when we were working together on college radio. So there we are, DJ Bobo is my guilty pleasure today. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this look at some albums in my collection that correspond to some questions put forth by JT's Music Room. His contest ends on the 28th of April, and the link for his contest announcement video is at the top of the description text box. Please go and have a look at that, give him a sub, and then if you fancy entering this contest yourself, I'm sure he'll make you feel very welcome. You'll be able to watch his video and hear all the specific instructions and details about the prizes and everything. Thank you especially to my wonderful subscribers and generous patrons. I've got my usual links that I won't bother going on about down in the text box as well. But make sure, first and foremost, you give JT's Music Room a sub and show him some support and say congratulations on 1k subs here in the vinyl community on YouTube. I'm going to go now, and as I've got some of these albums out, I could do with listening to some of them again. All of them I really love, some absolute bangers among them, and also DJ Bobo, who is probably the least cool artist in my collection by a long chalk, but I love the weird-faced little git. And I'm going to go now. I do hope that you all will join me again next time for my next music-related and vinyl community video. Cheers, everyone. See ya!